Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of On the Couch with Fouch. I have my friend Arthur Rice with me tonight. Thanks so much for joining me,
Absolutely.
man.
Glad to be here.
Once again, we are here at the National Quartet Convention at the LeConte Center in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Basically your hometown, pretty much.
It is. It is.
You probably don't live far from here?
I live 5 miles from here. And
Perfect.
It is wonderful to go home and sleep in your own bed.
I bet. I mean, it's just like...
You know, it's actually been a lot more work because actually we've worked at the park also. So we work during the day and then we come over here, or we work, in the afternoon. We come over here and then we have to go over there. So we worked a lot this week. But used to Quartet Convention was kind of a break for us because, we got to go to Louisville. And really, we just our performance.
Right.
We got a little.
But now you got to do both.
Now we got to do both.
And come out here and meet
But
people and talk.
Still, it's great.
You still get to go home to your sleep number at night.
Yes.
And lay in your own bed that's comfortable to you.
Yes.
Excellent. So very cool. So Arthur happens to be the president of the Southern Gospel Music Association, and they run the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame, and it is at Dollywood.
Yep.
And it is a wonderful exhibit. If you have not been to the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame in Dollywood, then you definitely need to visit. So why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about...
Train just
as
went by.
As the guy walks by there. Yeah. It's just water. We're just moving water bottles around.
Yeah,
that's all.
all
And like I tell you guys all the time that watch on a regular basis to these interviews, when we do interviews at places like this, it's just part of the experience of being on the couch with Fouch. And unfortunately, like several of the interviews from here, there is no couch.
This is the most uncomfortable couch I think I've ever been on, just so you know that. This is a piece of concrete.
It's a concrete couch. And so it's inside, it's just extremely loud with people walking around. And I didn't bring a couch. So I know that you guys are more concerned about the interviews instead of the couch that I'm on. But all of that being said, tell everybody about the Southern Gospel Music Association and kind of the history of the Hall of Fame, or just some details about it.
Well, it was Glenn Payne's dream to have a Hall of Fame and a museum to where that we could honor those that have come before us and to share our heritage and our history of our music and how it became how that that we are able to do what we do.
Right.
And so 15 years ago, Dollywood came to us and offered us they basically said, we'll give you the building, we're going to build you a building, a wonderful facility. You take care of the inside, you do you put what you want in it, and then we'll take care of the building and that kind of thing, which is something that was just
that's a blessing.
Unbelievable blessing.
Yeah.
Because
it's awesome.
I mean, when you're talking a building that size, you're talking $8-10 million when you start doing,
Right. And
so,
especially at a popular place like Dollywood.
Exactly. And the wonderful thing about it is, it's a secular theme park, so it exposes our music and our history of our music to a genre of people that are just not your normal, everyday. They are your normal everyday person. It's not.
But they're not your normal everyday fan of Southern Gospel music.
Yeah. Exactly. And so that's been a wonderful outreach for us to be able to show how God has used our music to touch folks and how He's used. That's what we want people to see when they come through there. We don't particularly want them to see an individual. We just want them to be able to see how God has used individuals through the years and how, our availability to God, He will use our ability.
Right.
And that's what we want them to see. When they come away from there, we want them to see that God is in our music and that He's still touching lives through our music, and that's what it's all about.
And you guys do partner with the National Quartet Convention.
We do.
And the Singing News. And today was actually the Fan Awards, and you guys presented several people with induction into the Hall of Fame. And it's so cool, as I'm relatively young, and I've been in the industry now for about 10 years, but it's so neat to watch you guys, every year another class of people going into the Hall of Fame, and these people, stuff about these people, like you said, just their availability, the stuff that they've done, everybody as a whole,
Right.
the work, and see them in these things in the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
that you guys put in there, and it's just really, really cool to see that. So tell everybody else some of the things like the SGMA is a part of, and the things that you guys do, and that so that people can be aware to some of the different things and ways that you guys are involved in gospel music.
Well, how we want folks to be a part of our. We want them to partner with us, and so that you can go to sgma.org on there. You can partner with us and donate to the music. But Dollywood provided the building, but we are in charge of sustaining the inside, the interiors, the employees, the artifacts, keeping all that up and running. It's an expensive venture, and it's all done. It's a nonprofit organization. It's all done on donations, and so that's the only way that we can survive. And so the only way that we can keep that history and our and be able to show people our heritage is for folks to get involved and to help us. And so even though Dollywood is gracious enough to supply us a place, that's as far as it goes. We're we have to keep up the inside. So we need your help and we need your support to be a part of us and partner with us to keep this music alive, the history of this music alive.
Right, because like I've heard people say several times in my life, if you forget where you came from, how do you know where you're going?
Exactly.
So if you guys feel so inclined, and we're asking you to, it was sgma.org, and make a donation. Any amount helps to keep the history of gospel music alive. And like you said earlier, people at an amusement park that possibly have never even heard of Southern gospel music have the chance to go into this Hall of Fame and see what God has done through music to touch people's lives, and to even meet some of those people that they never did get to meet, and see a little bit about them. So that is awesome. And so if you would like to help out, go and check that out for sure. It's a great cause, and something that, well, here comes the train. It's a great cause and something that I know you guys will definitely enjoy looking at, or come to Dollywood. Come to Dollywood and go through the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's the thing, and that's you have to come through Dollywood to go into the Hall of Fame, and that's kind of the part of it, But that's the cool thing is, you come hear us, we come out of our theater, come right out of our theater right into the Hall of Fame, and it's just a wonderful experience.
Come during, was it the Harvest
Festival fixing to start.
Harvest Festival
at the end of this week. As soon as Quartet Convention ends, we go into Harvest Festival, which is all the way through the end of October, which is just daily, just group after group.
Southern gospel music, basically on every stage
for the whole month.
All month. You can go to the Hall of Fame. You can ride rides if you want. If it's not too cold, you can visit everything else that they do at Dollywood. But really cool, man. I enjoyed going through the Hall of Fame, and I hope that you guys will check it out and will support that. It's definitely a worthy cause. So let's go to the questions that people want to know about Arthur Rice. First off, I want to know how many years you've been singing, because I've known you for, I don't know, maybe 8 years that I've been singing out of the 10 years I've been singing.
Probably so.
So I want to know how many years you have been singing.
Full time, I started with the Kingsmen in 1983, so that'd be years ago.
Small little information there. I was born in '82, so I was one when you started in '83.
That's great. That was my full time. That was my first full time
gig.
First full time gig, yeah. And then I left them, and I was there 6 years, and I left them and went with Squire for about 5 years, and then I came here, and I took a year off. My dad got sick, and I took a year off and went home, and kind of that's where I felt like God needed me, was at home with my family and take care of my family. And so I took that time off, and then the Lord kind of opened some other doors and stuff. And so, but I've been here for 18, fixing big 19 years.
Wow, so that's awesome. So while you were talking about that, a lady right next to us dropped her drink, and it went all over place. So it's a little bit distracting for us. But
Live TV.
so,
But it had something.
It's all
to this,
good.
dude.
so once again, that's just part of being on the couch with Fouch. You just don't ever know what is going to happen. So the most popular question that everyone wants to know that submitted questions on social media, they want to know, they just want you to talk about, how can you hold that high note so long? I mean, how do you, they want to know how you do that?
I take a deep breath.
Simple. It's that easy.
There's really no secret. I mean, it really is that simple. I mean, when people come up and they ask me that, and I say that, and they say, well, you're just being smart. But I'm not. That's really all it is. I just take a deep breath.
You're just a smart aleck.
Most people, most singers, a lot of times, it's the amount of air that you expel on the tact of the note. And a lot of times, a lot of people are aggressive with the,
Right.
and they waste a lot of air. And I just kind of, it was.
Big breath and then just preserve it and ease into it.
Yeah. Once you lock the note in, you just need enough air to support that note and keep that, sustain that note. And
it's amazing how you do that.
some days it's long, some days it's not. Just I never know what it's going to be. People they say, how long can you hold it? Well, until I run out of air. And it's not being smart. It's just
So what is the longest that you know that you've held?
Probably. Gary Dillard used to time me when I was with Kingsman, and people said, well, why don't you know? Well, I'm kind of busy at the time, so I don't really have a watch. But Gary used to time it, and I think it was 1 minute and 10 seconds. I think was the longest, which is a long time. Doesn't sound like
that
like
is
about
a
8 minutes.
very long time. Wow.
But,
so that's amazing. If you haven't seen it, it's all over YouTube. There's videos out there of him with the Kingsman doing it, Kingdom Heirs doing it. You can check it out. Arthur Rice and then Kingsman in the search engine, and it'll long note, something like that. It'll pull up. So Eric Eldridge submitted a question. Thank you, Eric, for your question. And he would like to know, what age did you realize that you had an incredible singing talent?
Probably from the time that I was 2 or 3, I guess. My mom and dad and my oldest sister traveled and sang, and just kind of regional. And they would, from the time I was old enough to stand in a chair, they would stand me in a chair and I would sing. And I don't know, I've just always had that. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
What it is. God just blessed me to be able to communicate with people, and even at an early age, and I think that's when that's all I've ever wanted to do is sing. Now I can do it about anything, but as a singer, a lot of times you don't, to sing you don't have a many times I've quit a job on Friday to go sing on a weekend and come back on Monday and start looking for another job because they wouldn't let me off on the weekend to go sing.
Wow.
So I've done that. So I've done a lot, and I know how to do a lot. But God has blessed me with that. And
so very young age.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years old, started singing.
Yeah.
Early on, realized that
Probably
God had gifted you with a talent.
Yeah. I started playing bass guitar when I was 7, and I started singing lead from the first quartet when I was 14.
Wow.
So 13, actually, right after my voice changed. So, yeah.
Next question. Ross Carter, he submitted this question. What a lot of people don't know is that Arthur also produces for some groups, and so his question was, if you had to choose one, producer or performer? Did I say that? Performer.
It's the performer.
Producer or performer?
That's hard, because it's 2 different hats, really. Because it's the creative side that I like, and that's kind of the cool thing with where I'm at. I get to create along with the performance. So it's I don't know. It'd be hard. I guess performance. Because that's really my calling.
Right.
Most singers, that's our callings, and it's encouragement.
Right.
And so that's So that's really probably my call. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
So if you made him choose, it would be performer. However, he does enjoy it.
Right.
Daniel Mount would like to know.
Okay.
What is
just 1 second? Just I got to find out what time it is. Because we go on in just a little bit. Okay, we're good.
Your favorite Kingdom Heirs release?
Favorite Kingdom Heirs release has to be Forever Changed. It's probably my favorite song that we've ever done.
Yeah, that's a great.
Marty Funderburk wrote that song. It's a great song. Probably that's my testimony song because I just I grew up in church and grew up around church people and growing up you learn quickly.
Yeah.
How to walk, how to talk, how to act, and how to look like a Christian. And
a lot of people have been there.
Yeah, exactly. And you live a Christian life on Sunday and Monday when you go to school and stuff. You're
different person.
Yeah, different person. And so when Christ came into my life, it changed my life completely, and just absolutely just
right
completely.
Yeah.
And it changed everything about it. And there was no doubt, there was a change in my life. To anyone who knew me before, and the old thing, well, that won't last. That won't last. But it's lasted.
Yeah, and if you are struggling with that, and you're watching, and you're like, you haven't heard the song "Forever Changed," it just really tells the story. And so, if you want to go to YouTube, check it out. If you just want to take our word for it, Jesus can make all the difference in your life, and He can forever change you, no matter what you've done, where you've been, where you think you're going. He can rearrange it and make all the difference in your life. But check out the song, listen to it, Forever Change. I'm sure you can find it here while you're on YouTube watching. So, great answer. I love that song. Jeremy Wright wants to know, Coke or Pepsi?
Water.
Caffeine, carbonation, or?
It doesn't really bother me, other than it took some weight off of me back a few years ago, and I just quit drinking any sodas about 5 or 6 years ago, and so now I just drink water. I hate water. I hate drinking water. It has no taste.
But it is very refreshing when it's cold. And
it is. It is. My mom didn't like water. She made sweet tea, so sweet. Just pour sugar in until it's so sweet. Your teeth hurt. And so
that's how the people in the South
she hated water, so she never made us kids drink water. So I grew up not really liking water, so I had to acquire a taste for it. So a lot of times I'll put sweetener in it.
So with the question Coke or Pepsi, the answer is water.
Yeah. If I had to choose, it'd be Mountain Dew.
Pepsi product. That's a roundabout way to get to Pepsi.
Yeah.
So Chuck Browder wants to know your favorite NCAA team.
North Carolina.
Tar Heels.
Yeah. From Asheville, so it's got to be Tar Heels.
This is probably a quick answer here. Andy Stringfield.
Yeah.
You know Andy.
Yes.
He wants to know, or he asks you, name your golf heroes besides him. I'm sure there's an inside joke there that none of us know about, but I'm assuming that he schools you on the golf course. That's my assumption from the question.
Moving on.
Okay.
I'm sure. I'm a huge Sergio Garcia fan. I love Sergio. He's cool.
So he would be your golf hero.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next.
Andy, not so much.
Okay.
Not so much.
The next question
who won last time
is the oddest question I've ever received from anybody. It just happens to be for you.
Okay.
Randall Ham, thank you for your question, Randall. He wants to know if there was ever an Arthur Rice Quartet tribute CD made, would you call it "I'll Have Rice with That"?
I don't know. I like it. I like it. I like it.
So going with the odd questions, it's time for the Fouch Zone. Arthur, you have got a certain unspecified amount of time to answer each one of these questions. If you don't get the answer in the amount of time, we go directly to the next question.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
The state with the highest percent of people who walk to work is time. Age of the youngest pope was time. only mobile national monuments are. Time. The shortest complete sentence in the English language is. Oh, you're killing me. Time. Which is bigger, an ostrich's eye or its brain? And time. Oh, you got one in there, and you got it right. That is last one is actually the eye. So, okay, the state with the highest percent of people who walk to work is
Would probably DC or New York.
so that would, but this what I found there said Alaska,
Really? Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
and probably by percent.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Percent, not the highest
yeah.
number of
Yeah.
people, the highest percent.
Yes.
The age of the youngest pope was 11.
Really?
The only mobile national monuments are
I do not know that.
the San Francisco cable cars.
Really? I don't know.
And you got the ostrich's eye or the brain. The brain is or the eye is bigger than the brain for an ostrich. And then the other one, the shortest complete sentence in the English language is I am.
I am.
Hey, you were getting there.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Very
Think
cool.
about that a minute.
Thank you so much for joining
See,
me, man.
You always learn something. Life is learning experience. Thanks for having me. Had a
You
great
always
time.
got to be willing to learn.
Absolutely.
So-
It's like, hey, this you could watch this or the Discovery Channel. One or the other.
Right. So tell everybody where to go to hear the Kingdom Heirs or to get information.
KingdomHeirs.com
And
and
sgma.org.
SGMA.org.
So thank you so much, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you learned something. We're all about learning here on the couch.
Yes.
So, thank you so much. See you next time.